10 years ago, I started writing to various influential thinkers and asking them what question they thought we should be asking ourselves. I quickly amassed a worthy pile of rejection letters from people like David Attenborough, Gordon Brown, Terry Eagleton, Michael Gove, Mary Beard, and many others besides. They were all very polite and nicely written letters, but also quite firm. They didn't have time. Though every so often, a letter landed with someone at the right moment and it ended up with an interview. And that's how the Examined Life got started. It's 10 years since the idea was conceived. So in this video, I'd like to explain some highlights and some lessons from the last decade, with a view to just pausing and paying attention to them, and also because I think some of them translate well to anyone who's interested in having creative side projects. I've met some remarkable people along the way. I remember sneaking into the Edinburgh Book Festival pretending I was press in order to meet Roger Scruton, or going up to the Isle of Skye twice to meet the remarkable Ian McGilchrist, or down to Rabbi Julian Neuberger's synagogue in London. These were adventures, and they intimidated me. They asked me to do bold things, but they also taught me what was possible. Daniel Pink, the psychologist, in his book on regret, does a big regret survey, and in it he finds that many people regret the things they didn't do, the things they didn't quite feel like they had the courage to follow through on. This project has forced me to do a lot of things that I found intimidating or hard, and I'm really glad it has. So that's my highlight and also my encouragement. Do bold things. I haven't regretted it, and you probably won't either. One of the great pleasures of this project has been how generative the ideas and the interviews have been for me, both in the preparation and the actual interviews themselves. They've informed the way I teach and the things that I write about, and I love hearing back actually about other people who found them helpful. I also think the interviews often want to speak to each other. Peter Gray asking, what are the conditions for psychological flourishing in children? And Michaeline Ducliffe asking, what are the universals of childhood? Or Rowan Williams saying, who do I tell the truth to? And Stanley Hauerwas, another theologian, asking, how do I get through the day without telling a lie? But here's the truth. I collected these interviews. I began this work before I was ready. I started too early. I fumbled many times, made many mistakes, and I will fumble again. I'm still fumbling. Though my encouragement is to start too early, I've only learned whatever I've learned through the process of trial and error. If you wait till you're ready, I'm not convinced you'll ever be ready. If you start now, see what you can do in this moment, then the experience will teach you over time. And so start early. Start too early. That's my second lesson. One of the things I found really gratifying about doing this project has been getting the odd bit of feedback. It's not in the nature of it to hear back very often. One of the most striking examples of feedback was when I was mid-interview with Catherine Burble Singh, and she said,
I've got this great quote here from Roger Scruton on my wall.
That quote was from the interview that I'd conducted with Roger Scruton back in 2016. It's lovely to hear that you're not just toiling in obscurity, that somewhere your content is being used and valued. Though, if that was my sole motivation, to hear back that other people are finding it useful, I'd have given up long ago. I'm intrinsically motivated and curious about what I might find, and I think that's essential with creative projects, that they can't be reliant on feedback, necessary though that sometimes is. They have to actually be intrinsically motivated. So there's my third lesson. One of the things I found challenging about interviewing these people is they're often really brilliant. They know more than me, they're much smarter than me, much more media savvy and so on. And I've got to act like I'm in control and try and ask some interesting questions. The trap I've fallen into is trying to ape what I think a clever person or an interesting person might say. And that doesn't work because it lacks authenticity, it lacks my voice. And so over time I've learned, and I'm still learning, to try and find my own voice, my own curiosity. Lauryn Hill, the singer, said, the real you is much more interesting than the fake somebody else. So I guess that's my fourth lesson. Find your own voice. Figure out what you're doing in the way that only you can do it, because that's when work actually connects. My final reflection is the fact that no creative work is made in a vacuum. I've been entirely reliant on the kindness of friends and family. From Nate, who built the Examined Life website and still maintains it, to my brother Colin, who made the music that you can hear at the background. My students actually made me this piece of merch, a t-shirt. It's actually the only one in existence. Needless to say, I am entirely reliant on other people for their encouragement as well as practical help. And that's my final reflection on this, that we need to rely on other people. It's grounding to remember how much we owe people who support us along the way, including anyone who has just listened or commented or liked or subscribed. I really appreciate the audience that this has developed. So thank you for that. Those are some thoughts in the last 10 years of doing this Examined Life project. A folder full of rejections, adventures to unexpected places, conversations that have personally changed me. I do hope you'll continue to join me for the interviews that are going to follow in the coming months and years. Krista Tippett said that there's something life-giving and redemptive about asking better questions, and I've found that to be a profound truth. I hope also that if you've watched this video and you have some kind of inclination to do a project that maybe scares you or whatever, but you think there's a spark of a good idea, then I hope you pursue that. As something I've done on the side of various other work over the years, it's been incredibly enriching, and I'm grateful for the opportunities it's given me. So thank you for watching. Do please subscribe to the channel, sign up for the Substack where you'll stay abreast of whatever interviews are coming up or my own musings on the big questions of life. If you have engaged, if you have gone through the back catalogue of questions, I'd love you to post in the comments a question or an interview that you felt stimulated or engaged by. Thank you so much for watching this, and I look forward to being back with you soon for some more interviews about the questions that we should be asking ourselves.